All right. Good morning, everybody. Thanks for your patience. We'll jump right into questions, starting with Jimmy Himes, Grant Ramey, Mike Wilson, and Rob Lewis.
Jimmy Himes.
Rick, how you doing?
Jimmy Himes, welcome to the show. Welcome to the Jimmy Himes Show.
It's your show. Hey,
our afternoon guest, Rick Barnes, University of Tennessee head basketball coach. Rick, it's good to have you on the show.
We're not hearing it.
They're hearing me. I can't hear you.
Can you hear me?
Oh, Wyatt, what is it?
There we go. Okay, I got it.
Can you hear me okay?
Finally, our SID department's a little bit inept this morning. I mean, Tom voted himself SID of the year for the last 3 years, got plaques in his office to verify it. Doesn't even know how to work a computer. So we're ready. Are we ready, Tommy?
We're ready.
We're ready.
We're ready? Fire away. I got two things. One, against Texas Tech, I know you had 39 threes. How many of those threes do you feel like were good shots within the offense?
Probably, I can tell you, I talked with our guys about it yesterday where we rushed at least 6 of them, where we didn't have the ones that we wanted to take. We knew against them going in that the way they packed the defense and try to keep it on one side, and we knew we were going to get looks. And we told them we should be excited about it because, we think we're a good shooting basketball team. But I thought we started the game with some of our good shooters taking off-balance shots. And I say this all the time. You can shoot your way, a really good shooter can shoot his way into a bad night by being edgy, trying to get a shot up, off balance. Because I do think this, when we shoot balanced threes, than the ones that we practice, that we really are a really good shooting team. But the other night we were, we had some really point blank looks at it that we didn't make, but all that can happen if you get off to a bad start where you start doubting yourself a little bit.
Also, how important is it for you to find another inside scorer to help John Fulkerson?
I think it's extremely important. I think that Olivier and Brandon are really going to be in Uros, those 3 guys going forward, because I do think that we've got to be a more physical team. I think we've got to, and those guys are the guys that can provide that for us. But I think our guards, our guards are pretty physical. I think people will look at them and think, because of how hard they work at running through screens and getting through screens and those type things. But around the rim, there's no doubt we need those guys to continue to get better.
Rick, speaking of Olivier, he played 13 the other night. He played 13 at Colorado. What's he not doing right now to stay on the floor? Is he kind of moving away from somebody that you can trust?
No, we trust our guys, but I've said many times that we can look at our guys' body language, and because we're around them so much and we know them so well because of the time that we spend with them, we can tell when we feel like they're really locked in to doing what we know they're capable of. But I will say this, in the Texas Tech game, he made some really good defense, made some nice blocks, some extra effort plays that we like to call them, where he made some plays, help, went over, blocked a shot, things like that. We need that more. Obviously, we need him to be a physical rebounder inside. I think that, again, what Olivier's got to continue, where he's got to continue to improve is when he missed an easy shot, and you can tell, and he came right down the floor and then took a shot that could he make probably at being off balance like that, not a high percentage shot. So it's almost like in his mindset, I think that he felt like when he missed that little bunny around the rim, that I got to get it back. And he doesn't have to get it back. He's too good a player, and we've got great confidence and trust in him. But that's where he's got to continue to grow to where, it's tough when you miss those right around the rim when nobody's guarding you. It really is. And but the fact is, last game against Texas Tech, we were just trying to get the best. We knew we were struggling to score. We felt we could guard them. We had 4 guards out there one time because they tried to post our guards, and our guards was not going to have any of it. And so we felt we just needed to try to get the guys out there that could get some points for us.
Yeah, Rick, I have 2 parts to this question too. You guys are getting about 11 free throws a game. Is that a concerningly low number, or is that just a byproduct of the way the offense is running with a lot of kicked out for threes?
Well, that's you hit. If you kick out for a bunch of threes, you're not going to get fouled a lot. But again, we need to get better physically driving the ball, where one guy on our team that does it, or two guys. I mean, Santi and Zakai, they both go in there and they're willing to put their body on you and try to create some contact when they're going at a good speed. But yeah, when you shoot that many threes, and again, the other night we had a chance to put the ball inside some, and our passes weren't on time. We threw passes at people's feet, and when you're playing against a team that is going to collapse real quickly, you got to be clean with that delivery, or the guy catching the ball is going to have absolutely no room to work. And that goes back to, just the pass being delivered where it needs to be delivered on time.
And is there a number of free throws that you kind of have in mind in games? Is that everything you've done of saying, this is the number I'd like to see in a game?
No, all I would tell you is this: we like to make more than the other team shoots. Is what we would say. Is that would be the goal in a game? Is that if we can make more free throws than the other team shoots, that would be a good night.
Coach, what does Brandon need to do to get more minutes for you? What does he need to show you?
Physicality, because we think Brandon's one of the strongest players that we've ever coached, and he's learning how to practice better, and that's where it's going to start, because you saw the other night, as soon as he came in the game, there was no question that Texas Tech went right at him. I mean, they didn't even hesitate 1 minute. So it's him understanding, and Brandon is working at it. I mean, he's come so far from when he first got here in the spring in terms of his mindset, but Brandon's smart. He's talented, but it's a mindset to understand him. It's a big jump from where he was last year to where he is today. And our schedule probably hasn't helped him in terms of, but it will in the long run. What the big games that we're in, it's going to help him. Do I think he could go out in some games and do better if we had a different schedule than we have? Yeah, probably. But the fact is, what we're getting ready to get into come into December, every night it's going to be a highly physical, contested game, and we've got a couple more weeks to try to get him there. But he had a great practice yesterday. We wanted him to be more physical yesterday in practice, and he did a nice job doing it.
Karthik and Ben McKee.
Hey, Coach, UNC-Greensboro has been a tough defensive team in recent years, a team that's made the tournament. What do you guys need to do better on offense, coming into, another tough defensive opponent?
Well, one, we need to shoot the ball better. And but again, what we practice, I mean, you guys have seen us. Some nights we've been a really good offensive team. Other nights, and what it goes back to, Kennedy's learning that every night, and I've said it before, every game has a different personality. The way he played, say, at Colorado, he was able to high ball screens, get to the rim. Well, I think he's not there yet, knowing that the next game against Texas Tech was totally different coverage, totally different. And that's where he's going to have to understand, prepare himself, because everything that Texas Tech did, we talked about with him, and talked about where he was going to have to fight, talked to him about where his gaps were going to be, where we get him on the court, where he can still do what he's really good at. But it's his preparation getting there. I mean, Kennedy's going to work continue to work at getting better at it. But, for what he's done up to this point, he's a freshman, and honestly learning that, hey, and he will every game out, every time that he's played poorly or not up to the standard that he wants or what we want, he's come back and he's tried to do better with it in practice.
Yeah, Rick, just with Justin Powell getting 2 minutes in the second half the other night, just what did you see from him that kind of led to that, and what does he need to do better moving forward?
It's like I said earlier, it goes back. We know our guys' body language. We know when we feel like they're locked in and ready to play. And that's, honestly, and we knew it was going to be a defensive struggle. So now you're on the other end looking at, okay, if Justin's not making shots, and it's going to get into a defensive grind. We've got to try to get our best defensive players out there who we think can make shots too. So that's where we get in a bind a little bit. And there's no doubt Justin has improved his defense since he's been here. We think he's going to be a terrific player. But again, he's really he played 5 games at Auburn before he got here, and we think he's got a good feel. But he's learning this system, especially defensively, and he'll be fine too. I mean, we've got confidence in all these guys, but we're in games, and when we're in those games, those high level games where we know that, you know, every possession matters. At that point in time, I've got a great coaching staff, and there's a lot of dialogue going on over there who we all feels locked in, ready to go and try to help us get a win. And that's the decision we made the other night.
Last one for Coach goes to Jimmy Himes.
Can't hear you, Jimmy. Can't hear you.
Do you think that you will see more teams play you a zone defensively?
We haven't seen anybody, that many guys play us zone that much. We haven't seen it very much, but it doesn't. We're ready for it. You know, we feel that we feel we're a good offensive team. We feel like can we get better? And again, every game is going to be a grind, but if we will execute what we do, we're going to be fine. Now, making shots, I mean, you see it happen. Villanova took 53s, made I think 13 of them. So that's part of the game that we wish we could control it every night. But what we're more concerned about is execution. And if we execute, we're going to be a good offensive team.
Thanks, Coach. We'll have Zakai up next.
All right.